Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Edward Sanshin Oberholtzer. I'm the resident priest and guiding teacher here at the Joseph Priestley Zen Sangha in Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. I'm a member of the Empty Moon Teaching Circle. We all have different reasons, different histories that bring us to where we are in this moment, that bring us, for example, to be sitting in front of a computer screen on a Saturday morning or afternoon in early May, following our breath, working on a koan. In the most conventional of ways, for the most conventional of reasons, I drove up from Washington, D.C. yesterday, dodging traffic and enjoying the coming of spring on the way up to Lewisburg. The garden needed tending, the mail needed collecting. Karen had an appointment and there was no time to dawdle. Each of us here might have a similar everyday story to tell as to how we got here. If only that we crawled out of bed, grabbed a cup of coffee, and sat down at the sound of the bell. So many particular steps, so much contingency. And so here we all are, and here we all are together, pursuing the way. One point of view has us traveling doggedly, step by step. Another puts us all on the dharmic path to awakening, and they are the same. Our ancestors had their own stories, some mundane, some mythic, some both, often recounted in the various stories that we tell one another. Let me turn to one of those enigmatic, though seemingly simple stories, in this case, a koan from the Gateless Gate. A monk asked Zhao Zhou, "What is the meaning of Bodhidharma's coming from the West?" Zhao Zhou said, "The oak tree in the courtyard." Now, let's be clear. Zhao Zhou knew. I'm sure the monk knew. We all know that Bodhidharma came from the West not on a lark, not out of idle curiosity, but to bring the Dharma to those great empires in the East, to the Chinese, to the Emperor Wu, to those monks at the Shaolin Temple, that he traveled by ship through the South China Seas for a number of years, all the way from southern India, before finding himself standing before the Emperor Wu in the kingdom of Wei. And that would have been a perfectly fine, a perfectly reasonable answer. Yes, that is the meaning of Bodhidharma's coming from the West, or at least that's the meaning of how he came. Not that far removed from my driving to Lewisburg yesterday, not from all of us getting up this fine morning. So, just what is all this nonsense, this non sequitur, and it certainly seems to be a non sequitur, about an oak tree in the garden? Look out the window. There it is, tall, straight, putting out leaves on a warm summer day in mid-spring, just as evident, just as upright and straight, just as simple and everyday as Bodhidharma's motivation in his arduous journey to the East. And these are both true. Your waking up this morning and putting your feet, our feet, down there on the floor, washing your face in the bathroom sink, putting the kettle on for a cup of coffee. Bodhidharma had no need for coffee. As we know from the legends surrounding him, he merely cut off his eyelids, let them drop to the cave floor and dry, and tea was invented. What is meditation without all that caffeine? And that is a conventional truth. But there is more to Bodhidharma's coming from the West. There is more to our getting out of bed this morning. There is more to my driving up from Washington, D.C. yesterday. There is a truth other than these everyday truths. And so, if I may invoke one of those underrated figures in the New Testament, Pontius Pilate, and his famous saying, "What is truth?" Bodhidharma, bringing, if not the actual texts that underpinned Buddhist practice in India, then perhaps the practices themselves. And if those are the particular truths, then just what is that oak tree in the garden? We could go on. We could ask just what is that dried shit stick? Or with a slight change in the question, just what is that 7-pound robe? All answers in one way or another to that simple question. I myself might ask, might say, depending on the circumstances, a piece of toast and jam, a wadded up used Kleenex. There is a simple truth in the straightforward evangelizing of the Dharma, and there is a truth in that oak tree, that dried shit stick, that half-eaten piece of toast. Truths of that moment, truths of just this. And these are the same truths. We talk of the two truths, of the mundane, quotidian truth that I tell when asked where I have come from, and I answer, a small town on the Susquehanna River, just up the road a piece. And there is the truth when I answer from a place of deep longing, a place we all know, a place that brings us to our original face. By some accounts, this notion of two truths is the essence of Buddhism, that if, like the Buddha, you can come to recognize that the nature of the universe is the two truths, the truth of conventional reality and of ultimate reality, you will have achieved enlightenment. Nagarjuna is sometimes quoted to this effect. In chapter 24 of the Mulan Madhyamaka Karika, he asserts that the Buddha's teaching of the Dharma is based on two truths, a truth of worldly convention and an ultimate truth. But these truths, as Nagarjuna pointed out, and as laid out in the path we follow in Zen, are both distinct and at the same time, one and the same. Bodhidharma came from the West both to bring the Dharma to the East and, quite simply, just one foot in front of the other, just this oak tree in the garden, just this dried shit stick, just this 7-pound robe, just this cup of coffee. The scandal that Nagarjuna left us with is his pointing out that follow his path, the path that asserts the emptiness of all things, and you'll find that samsara, the world of form, the world of the 10,000 grasses, this everyday world I followed in driving 3 hours north from Washington, D.C., that all of us followed in getting out of bed this morning, this humdrum world is exactly the same as nirvana, is nirvana. And we've always known this. Our ancestor Hakuin Ikaku sang to us that this earth where we stand is the pure lotus land, and this very body, the body of Buddha. Each day we chant that fundamental Zen text, the Heart Sutra. Each day we chant, form is emptiness, emptiness form. Form is exactly emptiness, emptiness exactly form. The two truths, the conventional and the ultimate, these two truths are one truth. I press the gas pedal to bring my car north, and that simple everyday truth is no other than the truth bringing me to this cushion, to this zazenkai. Bodhidharma, laid out on the deck of a small cramped ship with seasickness, sailing his way around the Malacca Straits, one wave, one storm, one pirate at a time, is at the same time bringing the Dharma, and is at the same time the oak tree in the courtyard. Thank you.